Aarav lived in the peaceful town of Virpur, nestled between green hills and flowing rivers. He was known for his quiet nature and his love for puzzles. Working as a librarian, Aarav's days were simple, filled with books and stories. But little did he know, his own life was about to become a story he'd never forget. One evening, while closing the library, Aarav noticed an envelope tucked between the pages of an old book. It was a plain envelope with no name, just the word urgent written in bold. Curious, Aarav opened it and found a cryptic note. What you seek is closer than you think. Look for the truth in what's familiar. His heart raced. Who left this? What did it mean? Aarav wasn't one to ignore a mystery, especially when it was this intriguing. He looked around the library, wondering if the note had something to do with the place he'd spent years working in. But after hours of searching the shelves and old records, he found nothing unusual. Yet, the words "closer than you think" echoed in his mind. He decided to take the note home, hoping it would make more sense later. That night, Aarav couldn't sleep. He sat at his desk, turning the note over and over in his hands. His eyes fell on an old photograph on his desk. His parents. They had passed away when he was a child, and he had been raised by his uncle Vinay ever since. The note's words began to haunt him. Could this be about his family? What truth was he missing? The next morning, Aarav visited his uncle Vinay. Vinay had always been a kind man, but there was something mysterious about him. He often avoided talking about Aarav's parents, and the few stories he shared never added up. Aarav decided to confront him. "Uncle, I found something strange," Aarav said, showing him the note. Vinay's face went pale. His hands trembled as he held the paper, and Aarav's suspicions deepened. "Where did you find this?" Vinay asked, his voice shaking. "In the library." "Hidden in a book," Aarav replied, his heart beating fast. Vinay hesitated for a moment before speaking. "Aarav, there's something I never told you. It's about your parents. But I need you to understand. I was trying to protect you." Aarav's world tilted. His parents. What did his uncle mean? He felt both fear and anticipation rising inside him. Vinay led Aarav to a small room in the attic, one he had never been allowed to enter. Inside, there was an old chest covered in dust. Vinay opened it, revealing letters, documents, and another photograph. But this time, it wasn't just his parents in the picture. There was a man standing beside them. "That man is your real father," Vinay confessed, his voice low. Aarav's mind spun. "What? What do you mean, my real father?" Vinay took a deep breath. "The man who raised you, the man you thought was your father, wasn't your biological father. Your real father, Rajesh, was a brilliant scientist. He made many enemies with his research, and one day, he disappeared. Your mother feared for your safety and wanted to protect you, so she remarried and kept the truth hidden." Aarav could hardly breathe. His life felt like a lie. "Why didn't anyone tell me this?" "We thought it was best to keep you safe." "But now it seems someone else knows about this," Vinay said, his voice filled with regret. Aarav felt dizzy. His parents, his identity, everything he believed about his past was wrong. And worse, if someone else knew the truth, they might be coming after him next. He needed answers, fast. Determined to uncover the whole truth, Aarav started digging deeper. He took the photograph to the town's oldest historian, Raghav, hoping to learn more about his real father. Raghav recognized Rajesh immediately. "Rajesh was a genius," Raghav said, studying the picture. "He was working on something revolutionary. But it was dangerous. Some say he was close to discovering a technology that could change everything. But before he could reveal it, he vanished." Aarav's heart pounded. Could his father's work still be out there? Was that what the note was hinting at? But if so, why now? And who was trying to lead him to it? As Aarav walked back home, questions swirled in his mind. His father's enemies could still be around. Was he in danger? Later that evening, as Aarav was piecing things together, he heard a knock on his door. He opened it cautiously, and a woman he didn't recognize stood before him. "Are you Aarav?" she asked, her eyes filled with urgency. "Yes, and you are?" Aarav replied, unsure whether to trust her. "My name is Priya. I'm a researcher who worked with your father. I've been trying to find you for years," she explained. "I was there when your father disappeared. He left something behind, and I believe it's the key to finishing his work." Aarav's pulse quickened. What did he leave? Priya handed him a small old key. "This unlocks a secret compartment in your house. Your father hid his research there, hoping you'd find it one day." Aarav rushed to the attic, key in hand. He searched the walls, the floor, every nook and cranny, until finally he found a small, hidden door behind a stack of old boxes. His hands shook as he turned the key. Inside, there was a stack of papers, journals filled with notes and blueprints of a device he couldn't fully understand. "This is it," Priya said, looking over his shoulder. "This is what they've been after all these years." Before Aarav could ask her more, there was a loud bang downstairs. Someone had broken in. "Quick, we need to leave," Priya urged, grabbing the papers. They ran through the back door just as two men in black stormed the house. Aarav's heart raced as they sprinted into the woods, hiding among the trees. "Why are they after us?" Aarav whispered, terrified. "They want your father's research. It's worth millions. But in the wrong hands, it could be dangerous. We can't let them have it." Priya explained. For days, Aarav and Priya stayed hidden, moving from place to place. Aarav's life had turned upside down in a matter of hours. But through it all, he realized something important. His father's work might be valuable, but nothing was more important than the truth. He couldn't live in fear or lies anymore. Eventually, with Priya's help, they were able to contact the authorities and hand over the research to the right people. The men chasing them were arrested, and Aarav's life slowly returned to normal. But he would never be the same. The truth can be difficult to face, but living in lies only makes life more complicated. Aarav learned that no matter how painful or shocking the truth may be, it is always better to embrace it than to run from it. Honesty brings clarity, and only through truth can we find real peace.